myflightcoach.com. Today we're going to take a look at some of the instruments in the airplane and about the different systems that control them. So let's get inside and take a look. The Cessna 172. And what I want to show you inside here are the 6 primary instruments that you will be using as you learn to fly or return to flight. Now, whether they are given to you in a digital format like in a glass cockpit, or if they are in this format that you see before you, the dials type instruments we sometimes jokingly call steam gauges, they are still going to provide you with the same information. And the 6 primary instruments are the airspeed indicator, the artificial horizon, the altimeter, the turn coordinator, the heading indicator or directional gyro, and the vertical speed indicator. Those 6 instruments we commonly call a 6-pack. And we need to know what controls those instruments. What systems are they dependent upon? Because not all of them depend upon the same source. 3 of the instruments depend on the pitot-static system. So let's go outside the airplane and take a look at the pitot-static system. Alright, here we are on the leading edge of the wing, and I wanted to show you the pitot-static system. Where do we get the input for those instruments? This is the pitot tube, and it's going to provide you with what we call ram air pressure. As airflow goes over the wing, as you go forward through the air, it's going to register inside this little hole inside the pitot tube. So it's very important on your pre-flight to make sure that the cap is off of this and that this little hole is clear. Otherwise, you're going to get erroneous airspeed readings if you get any at all. So this is the pitot tube. Over here, on the nose of the airplane, we've got the static port. This is a little disc shaped a little bit larger than the size of a quarter, and it's got a little pinhole in the side. And that is recording static air pressure. So as the plane goes up in the atmosphere or comes down in the atmosphere, it's going to record differences in pressure. And your vertical speed indicator and your altimeter find this information to be very important. Now, back inside, the pitot-static instruments are the airspeed indicator, the altimeter, and the vertical speed indicator. Those 3 instruments depend upon the input of that pitot-static system. So if either the pitot tube or the static port become clogged for some reason, then those are the instruments that are going to be affected. The instruments secondarily are also controlled partially by what's called the vacuum system. And there are 2 instruments that are controlled by the vacuum system. And they are the artificial horizon and the directional gyro. Those 2 are controlled by a pump that runs off of the engine that gives them power. And that is registered in the cockpit on the suction gauge. So we want to make sure that suction gauge is in the green when we do our run-up. And finally, there's 1 instrument on the 6-pack that is electrical, and that is the turn coordinator. It even has a little sign up here that says DC electric at the top. And if there's no power, you get this little red off flag that lets you know that it's not receiving power. Now, the ball inside the turn coordinator itself will still continue to swing even without electrical power, but the little airplane up here that gives us our rate of turn will not. So that's important information to realize. So that's the basic 6-pack of instruments. Hope it was helpful for you. And next time we'll cover another system. This is Chris Finley for myflightcoach.com.